Well, it's the end of the year, and despite everything else, the movies were good. It was a year about the horrors of pregnancy, clowns, films about TV, prequels, unconventional music biopics, and multi-part films. So here's a list of my favourite films of the year. Now, before we get into this list, I know that I'm going to get asked in the comments section about why I left out certain films on this list. Well, certain Oscar movies, The Complete Unknown, The Brutalist, etc., don't get released in the UK until January, so that's why they're not on the list. I haven't seen a film that you might mention, because I mostly do this channel more as a hobby that I can probably monetize if I can reach a certain number of subscribers. Please subscribe. So I'm not a professional film critic in that sense, so I don't often watch as many films as most professional film critics do, and I just didn't get to see certain films. Juror number 2, didn't see it. Queer, didn't see it. I saw the TV Glow. Regrettably, I didn't get to see it. Why is this 2023 film here? Certain films and questions would have had a festival run in the year before, but have been given a general release this year, which is fair game. I watched it, liked it. I didn't put it on the list because I saw something I thought was better, but don't worry, that's why we have honourable mentions. A Quiet Place, Day 1. This prequel managed to pack a lot of heart in an alien invasion story, showing that in dire circumstances there's still something to fight for. Furiosa. Another prequel, this time playing like the slower and observant opposite to Fury Road's high energetic chase. Rita. A dark fantasy that is sometimes harrowing but still hopeful in some spots. Not an easy watch but still good. Stop motion. Horror and animation combined to make an interesting and unique film that doesn't break new ground in certain regards, but the stop motion animation makes it something worthy to seek out. The Wild Robot. Originally I wanted to put this on my top 10 list, but it got organised out, so that gives you an example of how good it was. Animation is bright and colourful, there's a lot to say about motherhood, and some good voice performances are in the film as well. With those out the way, in alphabetical order, it's time for my favourite films of 2024. Anora. Sean Baker delivers another look at sex work, this time detailing a romance between a stripper and a son of an oligarch, which starts out like a Cinderella story, but collides into something more tragic, but still funny. Ike Madison is great, given a belter of a performance, but I think praise should also be given to the supporting cast who gives this film some extra depth that makes this work very well. Conclave. Edward Berger's Pontiff election thriller is an engaging and timely examination of faith and the interpolitics of places like the Vatican, with material that might seem a bit dull on one hand. The director and an excellent cast elevate it into a stirring chamber drama about faith, authority, and how people seek it. Daughters. There was a bunch of interesting documentaries I must watch this year, like War Games or Remarkable Life Ibelin, but sadly I didn't get to watch them. But I managed to watch this kind and heartfelt documentary called Daughters. Daughters is about the father-daughter dance in prison, a program set up by the film's co-director Angela Patton to help develop bonds between daughters and their fathers who are in jail. While other films would gesture at the American prison industrial complex, which this film does, this film wisely focuses on fathers and daughters and doesn't play up things for dramatic effect, showing how everyone is feeling. It's a feel-good film about reconciliation. In a Violent Nature. Inverting the slasher movie archetype has been done before in films like the remake of Maniac for Elijah Wood or Behind the Mask, but what In a Violent Nature does is take a more slower, atmospheric approach to it, often feeling like slow cinema, and while I can tell what horror movie franchise it's riffing on, the film stands on its own as a damn good slasher with some great kills. Longlegs. Osgood Perkins' horror thriller is a creepy and dark film. His direction is great, getting a lot of use of wide and close-up shots and making the film feel uncomfortable, aided by a good Nicolas Cage performance, which I've heard other people seem to have plays with, but I thought it added to the creepiness. Michael Monroe also gives a good performance here as well, telling a lot through looks and reactions. Longlegs is a creepy film, a good one, but yeah, it's creepy. Look back. One thing that made 2024 noticeable was that there was a noticeable lack of comic book films. Well, there was one MCU film in Deadpool and Wolverine, which was more of a Fox X-Men film. We had all the Spider-Man spin-off films that didn't take off, along with Job 2, and oh yeah, they made another Crow movie. But not every comic book has capes and cows, and Look Back is probably one of the best comic book films of the year, one of the best animated films of the year, and one of the best films about comic books. Based on the one-shot manga by Chainsaw Man creator Tatsuki Fujimoto, Look Back is a great film about collaborative creativity and the friendships that can be born out of it, being a sweet and heartfelt film. While this film has a short run time, and some moments might feel fleeting, but it tells the story how it wants to, and does so in the right way. The animation is pretty good as well. Rebel Ridge. What starts out like riff on First Blood, turns into a pretty good action film with a lot of things on its mind. It's good examination on the American justice system and policing, but there was a bunch of damn good action scenes, making a good balance. It's also impressive in how the main protagonist doesn't kill anyone, but in how other action films go and works hand in hand with director Jeremy Saulnier's other works like Blue Ruin and how it looks at violence. Aaron Pierre is cool as lead, and Don Johnson should be put on Mount Rushmore of actors who play corrupt policemen well. The First Omen. One of 2024's biggest trends was films about pregnancy. We had comedies about pregnancy like Babes, but the majority were horror films like the Rosemary's Babies prequel Apartment 7A, Alien Romulus, Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney, and my pick, the Omen prequel, The First Omen. Yeah, don't know why there's a bunch of movies about the horrors of your body being used to further someone else's ends. Anyway, First Omen has no right to be as good as a prequel to The Omen could be, but director Akasha Stevenson makes some creepy and disturbing imagery that sticks with you, and Nell Tiger 3 also gives it her all in this film as well. It feels like a satanic called The Midwife episode, but it's a damn fine horror film. The Shadow Strays. I've already reviewed this in depth, but to repeat myself, Timo Johansson's Shadow Strays is a brutal and visceral and intense action film. For action scenes that are as tense as they are bloody, he doesn't pull any punches, and that doesn't make it hard not to look away, and still adds a human element that makes the film all the more engaging. The Substance. Another film I already reviewed, but in short, The Substance is a creepy and timely film that can be a good treat to you on age, the media industry, and what it does to being a woman, and also a great body horror film that emulates the works of Cronenberg and Brian Usna, but stands out on its own. Demi Moore gives a good performance here, along with Mark Qualley, who had a good year herself, being in the Underage Driver A Dolls and the Yorgos Lanthimos Kind of Kindness. The Substance is a great horror movie and one of the best of the year. That's why it deserves a place on this list. So those were my favourite films of the year. What were yours? Please comment below and like and share.
Hey, do you like movies? Do you like movie reviews? Then this channel has stuff like that. There's Watch This Space, my film review show where I view recent films. And I also make short films, like Correspondence, which is very unique. If you'd like to see stuff like this, then please subscribe to stay updated on my work. I also follow my social media channels as well. So please subscribe to my channel.